connected and started.
All right. How you doing, my friend? How's your week been? How was your weekend?
My weekend was pretty cool. I didn't really do anything. Um,
That's a great weekend.
that's what adults say, but I like doing things. I like getting things done, but I mean, I went grocery shopping because that's what
Hey,
adults do
get
in
anything
this
good? Anything
modern day.
crazy?
Not really. I mean, got like meats and stuff, because that's about all I eat is meats and stuff.
Mm.
Um, and what else? Well, Friday we played some Lord of the Rings online,
Yep.
and that was interesting. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Got mugged by a bunch of dwarves.
I'm not sure exactly what you're supposed to do.
Mm.
Because like I tried playing offline a bit, like, and uh, everywhere I go is just a dead end. Like
Yeah.
I feel like where you are there is just like to like farm XP.
Yeah. Well, I think you're
Uh,
probably supposed to do the quest too. That's why I think. Did you try the human start yet, or did you just move forward on that one character?
no, I stayed on that character, but I didn't really do anything. I just like ran around and farmed XP.
Yeah.
But
Because
like,
the No, go ahead.
people try to yoink your XP, like.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like you share it, right? But like, I'll be like fighting a weird animal, and then
Mm.
other people will just come up and start attacking it,
Yeah.
and then like they kill it, and then I'm just like, so I like instead like I just started just like walking around, and anytime I saw people, I just stood there and stared at them.
Yeah. I'm sure they enjoyed that.
It was weird, but
Yeah.
yeah, and then I was trying to get out of Thorin's Gate, but there's nowhere to go. Like everywhere you go is just a dead end. And then yeah, you walk up the hill and all the dwarves attack you.
Yeah, I think
Eh,
you're supposed to do probably quest in the gate, like the gate opens. You'll probably make your way because the idea of the main quest is that it takes you through all three of the books, like in game. You know what I mean? Like you're a soldier, like fighting like alongside the armies of like the harem and whatever, helping out the Fellowship. I don't fucking know, but that's the general idea behind the sword quest. So I think they probably want you to do all the quests and progress that way. I didn't check on that because, of course, I was being lazy this weekend. Well, I was playing Dota 2 because I had a new plan.
hmm.
I'm just gonna go pro Dota 2, just move to Taiwan and live off of. I think I probably talked about this before, but just to reiterate, I'm just live off of DoorDash gift cards from sponsors and live in the game team house.
Very nice.
Good to go. That's all I need.
But you still have to pay your own rent though.
No, not if I'm living in the game house.
Oh,
The
okay.
team they by law have to have a house to house the team members if you're on a professional esports team. So it's like a thing.
Wow.
Yeah,
Very cool.
yeah. So that's what I'm gonna do. Just shell out completely for sponsorships for DoorDash gift cards, dude. All you need.
Yeah, but I feel like DoorDash is kind of a scam
Well,
because
it
every
is.
restaurant on DoorDash now like has like all their prices raised on DoorDash because of
Yeah,
how much money DoorDash takes, and then like they bring you your food, but like you have to opt into group ordering. But even if you don't opt in, they'll still deliver other people's orders before yours. Like they'll pick up a bunch of orders and drop
yeah,
off everyone else's and drive right past your house, and then bring
yeah.
you your food and it's cold and disgusting.
Yeah, after I got my Chevy Volt, the first 50 miles are electric, so basically the first 50 miles are free.
Hmm.
So I've been really trying not to get my food delivered anymore. Just driving out to get it. Like if I want Buffalo Wild Wings, the only one here is on Lone Tree. Or if
Yeah.
I go all the way to Tracy, but I'm not going to freaking Tracy. It's longer. At least I think it is. I'm not sure. Maybe it's.
Can you even get delivery there from places like on Lone Tree?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. I've gotten B Dubs delivered before. Actually, didn't regret it. I've regretted door dashing a couple times, but that night I did not regret what I door dashed.
I
That was
can't
just
even get like stuff from parts of Midtown here, and I'm like 15 minutes from Midtown,
yeah. Well,
Sacramento. Jesus.
yeah.
Oh, well,
Kind
I
of.
just leaked. Don't find me.
They're gonna find you. They're gonna DDoS you, dude.
It's a
It's
big
too late.
area. There's a lot of people,
Yeah.
especially people from the Bay Area now. They all live here.
Yep. It's too
So,
expensive to live in the Bay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Um,
but yeah.
Anything going on in my life? No, I was just studying, working, getting ready to go to the state and take my exam. Do that, take it once, close my first transaction, go on vacation. That's the plan this year.
Oh yeah, my wife's planning a vacation for us, and it just sounds like a nightmare. Anything in COVID time sounds like a nightmare to me.
Yeah,
Like,
you gotta have like you gotta have your vaccine passport from the government and shit, and
well, I mean, it's just like everything's a hassle. Everything's a pain in the butt. Like, I don't want to fly anywhere because airports are a hassle. Like, even without COVID, they're a hassle, and now with COVID, it's even more of a hassle. Like, it's just annoying. I don't want to deal with it. Plus, you know, right now, like I wouldn't be making any plans without expecting to have to cancel them, because you never know what's gonna happen or how the world's gonna act. So,
yeah,
uh,
especially with COVID laws and yeah.
yeah,
I
I
don't know.
mean,
It does seem like there's a little bit of a change of pace though. It seems like a lot more people are starting to be like, "What's the point?"
well, yeah, but it doesn't matter what people say. I mean, the government's gonna do what they want to do, and as long as enough people are scared, they're gonna support it. I mean, most governments, not I shouldn't say most, but a lot of governments around the world are already dropping all their mandates and everything,
Yeah,
like nationwide, and even a lot of very
states.
liberal people are saying like, "Yo, I'm just tired of this shit."
Yeah,
You know, even on like I don't know if we talked about this, but even on like Bill Maher a couple weeks ago, right? Bill Maher and all of them, he's very left. He always has very left people on his show. So like pretty much his show is like four extreme leftist liberals and one extreme right Republican who just gets roasted the whole time.
yeah,
Which is it's pretty funny, but um, even like him and a lot of his guests were saying, yeah, we're done with this, but we're all afraid. Like we're not going to openly admit that we think masking and all this is stupid because we don't want people to think we're Trump supporters, which is just ridiculous to me. Like, why do you care what people think of you in the first place? But when you're in politics and like you have agendas and stuff, like obviously you do care,
yeah,
which is just it's just odd to me to think that like why should I care what people think, because if it's not true, then why would that affect me anyway? Like,
yeah.
I don't know. I even saw like an article today, like somebody said like just this, you know, someone wrote for the New York Times. They wrote like an op-ed about like we're done with COVID, and someone's like, what you're saying is damaging to the liberal dogma or something. Like someone high up in the government said that to him,
Yeah.
and it's just like, yo, what? Like people are allowed to have their opinions, and like, you know, we've all seen kind of like, you know, it doesn't matter what we do, nothing changes, right? Because we've done the same things for 2 years, and it's always getting worse, right? Like
Too, I
something
think.
something's got to we've got to learn to accept what a virus is, because we all have known what it is, but we seem to forget, right?
Yeah. And I think we're getting pretty close to herd immunity here in California anyway. Most people are either fully vaxxed or they've just straight up had it and made it through. But there are also a lot of people that didn't.
Right. And I that's the thing is like that's their choice, right? And it should be their choice. Like I don't know. It's a weird thing where like even now like being anti like mandate makes you somehow like some crazy racist extreme righty McWriterson.
Maybe
Uh,
on Twitter it does.
well, just in general, like people are like trying to cancel Evangeline Lilly. You know who she is? She plays
No.
Wasp in the Ant-Man movies.
Mm.
And she was in Lost. I
I think
never
I saw
watched
a meme
Lost.
about that actually today.
Yeah, everyone's like reporting that like she's like anti-vax and all this stuff, and like people are trying to cancel her. And then like I read the article, and it's because she attended an anti-vax mandate rally.
Mm.
It's like, well, those are two very different things. Like, I think people, I think you know, I think absolutely the vaccine works, and I think people should get it if they want to. I'm not in favor of the government forcing anybody to. Private businesses can do whatever they want. I mean, just because the federal government says, you know, the Supreme Court says the federal government can't mandate people to get vaccines, doesn't mean that states can't. doesn't mean that businesses can't. I mean, like it just means that the federal government can't force us to do something or put something in our body, which I think is a pretty fair ruling. But apparently that's crazy. People really want to force vaccines on people.
Yeah.
I think legally, though, like the Supreme Court is wrong. Like legally, the federal government can legally force you to get vaccines. Like, there is an amendment about that. Like they absolutely can.
They do it every day. You know, like do they ask for a child's consent to vaccinate?
Right.
In reality, like as soon as they're born, they don't wait. And they just, it goes over. They kick it over to the parents, and the parents either say yes or they say no. The only good thing about these vaccines, of course, is that they have what are they? We're approaching 80 years now of the measles vaccine being widely available. That's used. That's almost an entire human lifetime, which is more than enough time for anything
Right.
difficult to surface.
Well, and on top of that, I mean, like measles is the perfect example of how people fundamentally misunderstand how vaccines work. We still get hundreds of cases of measles every year, but it never gets bigger than that, and it's not killing people because of vaccines, right?
It's not killing children, more specifically.
Right. And that's the thing. Like people are like, oh, people who are anti-vax, like, but people are still getting it. Well, of course they're still getting it. Like,
yeah,
that's the whole point.
That's what happens.
I mean, there are so many people too that are like, oh well, they inject you with the virus. Like, they're not injecting you with the living virus. Like, that's just not how it works. And there's so much data about how like vaccines work and how things are carried in your body and how that builds antibodies and blah blah blah. Like there is a lot of evidence out there. There's a lot of very good information that people can get, but that's up to them if they want to get it, and if they don't want to be ignorant, the vaccines don't work, and then that's their choice too. And by making that choice, they'll have to live with the consequence. But I think where that becomes an issue for a lot of people is like, well, but they can give it to me and I could die. Okay, but if you're concerned, then you should get the vaccine, right? If you have a pre-existing condition, you should take that into account before going out or associating with random people. Like, that's just kind of how life has always worked. Anyway.
And just like looking back, like the world just feels so much different than it was probably like even 2 or 3 years ago. Like it feels like we're coming out the end of something completely different. I know I'm a completely different person now than I probably was when the quarantine first started. Well, hopefully for the better.
Yeah, I mean, like when quarantine first started, it was like, oh, a couple weeks, we'll just, whatever.
Yeah, flatten the curve. Remember that?
Yeah, we were trying to flatten the curve for 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I even see like driving around, like I see like city signs, like little electronic things, and it says like, get vaxxed, wear masks, beat COVID, and it's like, yo, have you not fucking learned we're not beating anything?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter what we do, we're not beating it. Like, you can take steps to avoid getting it, to avoid letting it affect your body in more severe ways, like getting the vaccine. But there's no beating it. I mean, we're ultimately gonna have to, which people hate to say, but we're ultimately gonna have to learn to live with it because it's not going anywhere. And obviously, governments are gonna build regulations around what that means to live with it. It's not gonna be. I don't think we're ever going to go back to the days where like, yeah, the flu kills 20,000 people a year. We live with it. Nobody does anything to prevent that, right? I think it's going to be a thing where it's like, hurricane alerts now. Like, people in certain areas get alerts like, oh, hurricanes are coming, tornadoes are coming, right? We're going to get mask alerts now, right? Like every couple months. Like, oh, the cases are ticking up. Everybody has to wear masks again for the foreseeable future. But yeah. Anyway, do you have exciting? Are you gonna eat something good for dinner tonight?
Yeah, corn nuts.
That's your whole dinner?
And I got a pepperoni stick and alcoholic beverage, tall one. So we're good.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna eat my leftover pasta I made last night, but I'm gonna cook for my wife some kimchi fried rice and a nice flank steak. with some soy sauce and hoisin sauce, and I think that'll be good. I'm not gonna eat it, but I'll cook it.
Do you even try it?
Well, I need to try it.
Because make sure it's okay.
I mean, I'll try the steak, but I don't want to eat the kimchi fried rice. I don't like kimchi.
What? You don't like kimchi? It's delicious.
It's like fermented cabbage.
Yeah, exactly. So good for your gut.
Cabbage isn't good, and fermenting is even worse.
What?
Do you like kombucha?
Yeah.
Ugh. I tried
16
kombucha
billion little
once.
things,
Ugh.
injecting them right into my stomach. It's all good.
I mean, I'm not the best person to talk about food with because I don't really eat anything. At least nothing healthy. So,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Taco Bell for the first time in forever. Oh my god, it was so good.
Taco Bell?
Yeah.
Same, dude. I went to Taco Bell for the first time in like 4 months, like a couple weeks ago. It was so good.
That's why I gotta like stop buying it all the time because I know it'll taste even better if I just wait between meals instead of just getting it every day.
Yeah, I got Taco Bell again, like, so I got it like 3 weeks ago, and then I got it again like on Saturday. So good.
So I do
But
like the late night fast food is always, it just hits different. I don't know.
well, it's like I always plan on like cooking and stuff like on the weekends, and I'm like, oh, like because I'm like kind of person who's like weird with my food decisions. Like I wanna eat something, but it's like, well, if I go to McDonald's for breakfast, I'm probably not gonna eat most of the rest of the day. But what happens if like there's an opportunity to eat something and I miss it because I ate McDonald's for breakfast? So I just don't eat breakfast and then wait for the opportunity, but the opportunity never comes. So then it's like 8:30 at night and I haven't eaten all day, and I'm like, well, I guess no opportunities are going to come in the next 2 hours before I go to bed, so I might as well eat.
Hold on 1 second. So we started a little early. My friend is ready to join us, I think.
Okay. Bring them in.
Yeah, bring her in.
I just said M because it could be him, her, or them. So it can't be her, but.
On this call, add friend.
Is it easy to add to the call, or do we have to like have a? Oh, haha.
Oh, let's see how that goes. All right. God, I'm so good at discording.
You did it. You discorded.
Yeah. Hello?
Hello, friends.
We're live on the internet right now. How you doing?
Hello, hello.
Oh, it would help if I turned my freaking volume up.
Yeah. KaJe, this is Mookie. Mookie, this is KG.
Hello, hello.
No, Mookie, very long time. Very long time. She's just a great person. Yeah. It's like,
You're too nice.
yeah, I know. Great success story too. If you ask her, she won't gloat about it, but it's true.
Yeah.
Yep.
A millionaire overnight.
Oh well. But when I
Spent
first
it all in 2 hours, so that
yeah,
was the real achievement.
that was a real achievement. But just because she won't say it, but when I first met her, she was like living in an apartment with no hot water with like 6 other girls, and now she's living in her second house with her full-time job and a family, and like that took her like 8 years, so you should be really fucking proud of that because you're really awesome. Congratulations again.
Wow.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You lived with 6 other women?
I may be exaggerating, but I think it was a lot of girls.
It was like 2, 3. It was 4, so there were like 5 of us total.
Okay, so
Was it like a party house?
No, it was like a friend of mine owned a house, and because I was like, I'd gotten kicked out of the dormitories at college because I couldn't afford it anymore, so she let me live there, and then she let some other people live there too because she was entirely too kind. And so yeah, we had to kind of cram each other, like all of us, together in one house. Sorry, there's a a rampage because I let my dogs in and they're insane.
I know
And
what
one of
that's
them's a
like.
puppy and he runs at full speed.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, please come here. No, I can't. Stop. No. He's under the bed now.
Oh no.
You have big dogs or small dogs?
Ah. One medium dog, one big dog, the Pyrenees mix, and one small dog. Well, it's have to be a medium dog because he's a puppy. No, come on, dude. You have to go in your bed. Come on. Like the other two are pretty chill, but the puppy is just pure anarchy.
That's what puppies do. Trust me. It's like that.
I've heard people say they'd rather have another kid than have another puppy.
She could probably attest to that.
Yeah.
She's doing both right. She's doing both
I am feeling that way.
But it's because, like, with puppies, you have to do a lot of like training and housebreaking and, staying up all night with them, letting them out every couple hours. Like, whereas, like, babies sleep, like, sometimes, right?
Yeah.
You sleep sometimes too.
But you can slap a diaper on a baby. You can't slap a diaper on a puppy. And when things get going, man, because she ate something she shouldn't have ate, it's no good.
But I don't know. I think he'll be okay.
Good.
As potty training goes and stuff. It's just that energy, man.
Infinite. I should be running down animals right now, chasing them down to eat them with the pack.
Eat them.
That's what they do, man. Dogs are descendants of predators.
Literally, the first thing that he did when he ran inside was shove about half of his body into one of the other dog's food bowls, desperately trying to get food. Even though we already fed him.
Black holes,
but usually he knows there might be more food there, so he usually just tries to climb into it, which is hilarious and ridiculous.
Yeah, well, where I live, it's not my dog, but they have a little schnauzer, and like I think she used to be like a stray or something because she'll like grab food out of her bowl and like hide it in her bed, like for later. Like she'll just like pull it all out and just go hide it somewhere just so she has food for later. It's so odd.
Oh no.
Just like that's probably what some trauma there from
Mine.
Yeah.
No one else will have this kibble.
Yeah. My dog is just like a black hole. I just throw food out there and it just vanishes. Like these long-lasting like bully sticks that are supposed to last like it lasts 10 hours, like literally lasts like 35 minutes. She just chews so vigorously, like and intensely. Crazy.
Yeah, you got a big honking dog.
I got a little 98-pound psychopath. It's no problem.
She's how big now?
She's 98 pounds. Last I checked. And 4 legs and really sharp teeth.
Good Lord. Like I have a Pyrenees and she's not even like I think she's maybe 80. Well, I guess that's close, but
those are big dogs.
Yeah. But it's worth it though. I just walked her 5 miles today because she needed to be walked, and that means I walked 5 miles too. So it's good for the both of us. Get my calves more swole.
Yeah, you're much better at staying active than I am.
I haven't lifted any weights in a long time. Not sure. Kaje, you still hitting the rack at the gym, or are you just doing the tread right now? Yeah.
No, I do. I mean, I've been able to like bench press the past couple of days because I've had like a weird thing with my back where like when I lean back, it just like hurts really bad. Can't do anything. So, but it doesn't hurt to like lift regular weights. So I do like dumbbells and barbells and whatnot, and I do weights. But I always do cardio too, which apparently you're not supposed to mix them like that. But whatever.
You mix cardio with everything, dude. It's like one of the most important. So good for your long-term health.
Bodybuilders always say like you should never do cardio before strength training. I don't know why.
Oh my god.
Even a 15-minute walk.
Always been doing the wrong thing.
I think it's one of those things where it's just like food, right? Like some people can eat whatever they want as much as they want and never gain a pound, and other people can. Like we're all different. We all have different bodies, so what works for me in the gym might not work for you, and what works for you probably won't work for me. So
Yeah.
Just
fair.
yeah. Life is a journey of finding the things that work best for you, and
And then getting fucked up by the things that absolutely don't work at all. Like
Look,
first,
I didn't join this Discord call to be hit by wisdom.
that's what we do. We just
sorry.
dispense wisdom when we say we're going to talk about nerd news, and then we just talk about life and complain for 35 minutes.
Well, it's because nerd news is dry. There's nothing going on. Like,
yeah.
wow, EA is making more Star Wars games, and Matt Reeves didn't want to make Ben Affleck's movie. Like,
Oh, come on.
Oh, Pokemon Arc, yeah, the new Pokemon
oh
is already
yeah,
very, very good. That's what I've been hearing all around.
I hear it's good, but it has like Nintendo GameCube graphics from 2007.
I'm not.
Oh, no, it's not that bad.
No, it's on the Switch. It's Pokemon, so I don't really expect too much when it comes to graphical fidelity when it comes to Pokemon because the Pokemon look fucking wacky and doodle to begin with.
Yeah.
I mean, it has the standard Pokemon graphics that they've been giving us since fucking XY. So
Yeah, like the cell shaded 3D models and shit.
it didn't impress me. It also didn't disappoint me because I was like, oh, this is what I expected because this is what they're doing now.
Also,
I guess.
People are probably trying to play it like on their full plasma screen TVs. I'm like, oh man, why doesn't this look as good as like the latest Call of Duty or something like that? Like, oh
Yeah, that's
shit,
true.
it's a Pokemon game. You're supposed to play it like on your handheld Switch. It's like built for a small screen.
That was my experience with like World of Warcraft a long time ago. It was like the cinematics looked really good because I didn't understand that those weren't made in engine. I thought that was like gameplay, and then I went to play. I'm like, oh, this is terrible. I don't want to play this shit.
So disappointing. Yeah, that's the one good thing about Pokemon. It's just you get what you see in the trailer for sure.
I think a good way to think of it is yesterday I was like, well, should I play Pokemon or should I make a blanket? I'll just make a blanket.
The game, like from the gameplay I've seen of the Pokemon game, like it actually looks like fun. Like a lot of the mechanics look really fun compared to like older Pokemon games where it's like very straightforward.
The open world looks fantastic. Like running up to Pokemon and initiating a battle looks freaking awesome. I need to finish Pokemon games.
The only weird thing is like every different landscape looks the exact same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still at the beginning. I haven't seen any of the other areas just yet, but that doesn't surprise me if that's the case.
Yeah, I like the idea of like some of like the nexuses kind of things that they have in there. Like the storms or whatever that like farm a bunch of Pokemon, but yeah, it's pretty interesting.
What is annoying me already is like part of the mechanics is like you have like certain requests or requirements you have to fulfill for each type of Pokemon. And one of the main ones is like catch X number of Pokemon. And like for Wurmple, for example, the top one to fulfill it is like catch 10 Wurmple. And I'm like, what would I ever do with 10 Wurmple? I think I read a little bit that I guess like when you release them, you get some like bonus stuff. So like there is, I guess, an advantage to just catching a bunch of Pokemon and letting them go. But at the same time, I'm like, thank God this isn't a mechanic where every time you have to go into a battle because that would get really old really fast. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't want to stop and catch 10 Wurmple. Like, yeah, I can do it by just sort of like throwing Pokeballs willy-nilly out in the field. And because it's like open world, it's much easier. But also like, I don't want to do this in general. I also don't want to fight 10 Wurmple and let it hit me with Poison Sting like 15 times. Like, no, I don't want to do this. Why'd you make me do this?
And Wurmple's pretty lame. Like, he just becomes Cascoon and then Beautifly, and Beautifly sucks.
Yeah.
Like, Bidoof is one of the starting ones, and it's like, catch 8 Bidoof. I'm like, no, why? Why would I ever
want a Bidoof? Yeah, that's...
Also, I'm like wasting this Bidoof's time. Like, what if this Bidoof has a family and I'm literally kidnapping it for like 2 days and it goes back and its children are dead?
What about every Pokemon game that isn't that like the ethical dilemma?
A little bit. It's more real though.
I was talking about X and Y, right? KaJe, did you ever play X and Y, Pokemon X and Y?
No, I only played like very briefly some of like the OGs, like Red.
Oh, that was
and yeah, I barely played any other Pokemon because they were always like $60 games, and we were like a $3 family.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. But
I honestly didn't really get into playing games until left for college, and even then it was like years because we just didn't have any money. So
I was just gonna say, but in X and Y, this guy's like, "Oh man, your Pokemon are so powerful. I need you to teach me the meaning of closing my bonds between my Pokemon and like teach me the meaning of friendship." And then you have a Pokemon battle, and you just shit all over this dude's Pokemon. Like you just one shot all of them because they're super low level for some reason. And then after you beat up all his Pokemon, he's like, "Oh man, I finally learned the meaning of friendship." It doesn't make any sense. He's like, "I understand love now." I'm like, "What? What? Why?" So
I'm
it's
also
like
mad that like I literally cried at that scene because his Pokemon came back, and I was like, oh my god, they're friends again.
after you just gotta sacrifice 3 Pokemon. Yeah, just sacrifice your other friends to make one back old friend.
The power of friendship.
Dude.
Oh, this dumb game.
So that's all I gotta say about Pokemon and his story and plot points.
I mean, the original Pokemon movie though, that was
Oh
pretty
yeah,
epic though.
Pokemon
Yeah.
2000, bro, with Lugia. That shit's super good too.
I'm talking about Mewtwo.
Mewtwo was great.
When Ash almost sacrificed himself for
Yeah.
Pikachu, and Mewtwo's
Well, he
like,
didn't. He didn't
Oh,
almost sacrifice
okay,
himself. He
well,
did sacrifice himself, and then Mew's like, "All right, I guess we'll use our psychic god powers to Deus Ex Machina this bitch."
oh god, I also cried.
All the tears of the Pokemon are crying, and they gather together, and Ash is surrounded by love, and he's not dead anymore. Good job, guys.
Stop. I'm tearing up again.
Oh man. So I love the opening scene though. Like I stole that opening scene from one of my books where Mewtwo is just using his hands and he's like starts swirling the clouds and he literally just makes a fucking hurricane. Like, oh dude, that shit was so cool. Like that's such a good way to introduce like just the major power in the movie. Dude. He blows up Team Rocket's base. He kills like the scientists that created him.
yeah. I think like they do a good job with Pokemon stories of like, hey, Mewtwo's gonna be the villain, so we gonna have to sideline Team Rocket. They're kind of like lame antagonists who are just pesky.
They get blown up
Yeah.
first like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
They can be funny every now and then.
Yeah. Like I haven't watched any of the new Pokemon movies, but I remember all the Pokemon movies being really, really good. I remember there was one. I think it was after the Legend of Arceus, like when they started getting into the X and Y stuff, and it was just starting to lose me because they were using the 3D models for everything, and like all the Pokemon started having like this cute little anime voice, and like it was just a kid, and ah man, humans are disturbing its sanctuary, and
I don't think I watched any Pokemon movie after Pokemon 2000.
the Celebi one though, where he literally, oh no, the Jirachi one where he he
Have not
kidnaps.
seen it.
Oh, dude,
I
he
didn't watch
kidnapped.
those either.
He literally kidnaps like this little Jesus Pokemon and he like tortures it to make Groudon, and then it turns like this evil fucked up Groudon that starts like blowing up a forest and melting shit and creating volcanoes, and it's like all evil and twisted and literally kills the main villain. Crazy. Ah, we should watch that movie and review it. That movie's so fucking good.
A wonderful way of summarizing plot point.
Dude, all that matters is who died and who lived. That's all that matters in the book.
Yeah.
Who's not dead? Sound off. What
We
else
should
is going on?
we should just like do like minimalistic movie reviews or like movie summaries. Like be like, oh yeah, have you seen the Phantom Menace? They like go to the ship. They're like, hey man, you gotta stop this Trade Federation bullshit. Motherfucking Naboo can't send nothing out because you just out here stopping them, and then be like,
Yeah. They turn up their fucking turrets and their shields up. Oh, dude. And then Darth Maul tries to run over a child. And,
yeah. And if he would have, let's be honest, everything would have been better from that point on.
yeah, yeah. Because, they didn't really need Anakin. Like, he's the one that blew up the ship, but theoretically, any pilot could have done that.
Yeah. I mean, they could have put Yoda up there to do that. What was he doing? Nothing. He was in there like, no, you can't train Anakin because I'm Yoda.
Yeah, pretty much. By the way, Mookie Strip hates Star Wars.
That's okay.
I do not hate Star Wars.
Space magic. I think that's what she said one
I
time.
just never
She's not wrong.
watched it. Star Wars isn't something I grew up on because like my dad wasn't like a huge Star Wars thing. And then when I finally went to college, it was like either I was too busy to watch them, or my friends would be like, "Oh, we should marathon all the Star Wars movies," and I'd be like, "Yeah, sure, let's do it." And then like the idea would just die.
Yeah.
And like the only Star Wars movie I've seen was The Phantom Menace, and that's literally it.
Oh wow. Did you ever watch A New Hope?
I did not.
Oh wow.
My thing is like I don't know if I want to watch the new ones because I'm like, am I going to completely be out of my depth and understanding what the heck is going on before then? And because I'm like, well, I don't understand
I
anything.
would just say watch A New Hope, the first one, the very first Star Wars movie, the one that basically kicked off everything.
Yeah.
Because it's George Lucas is just me and KG agree on this that he's just a master of movie magic, and him and everyone at that was working at LucasArts at the time, or whatever Lucas Limited, whatever they were called at the time, but they were just movie magicians. Like they made crazy shit work. And the Phantom Menace, they make robots like personable to human beings, which is very difficult to pull off. I don't think any of us really give them credit for making R2D2 or C3PO like a thing that people like enjoy and think are like cute and adorable. Like it really is mind blowing for the time.
I'm just gonna have to give up on watching Star Wars with my friends as an experience and just be like, I'm just gonna watch it myself
I
and
can
get
watch
it.
it right now. Okay, I'm gonna blow my nose real quick, so I'm gonna turn off my camera.
Now it's like 9 o'clock at night.
I guess start. Come on, man.
I'm
Yeah.
Hold on.
tomorrow. Like,
Clear my nostrils. Hold on.
It's a weird thing where like I thought that the best way to introduce people to Star Wars was like, the way that you should, like original trilogy and then episodes 1, 2 and 3 and then the sequels. But I did that with my wife and it was a nightmare. Like because like a local theater was like just randomly showing the original cut of A New Hope, and I was like, yo, I mean, I gotta go to that. And so like that was her first time experiencing it, and she needs subtitles and all that other stuff, and she didn't understand the jokes or anything, and yeah. Then after that, it was really hard to get her to watch the next movie, which is the best movie. So that was annoying. Um, it took like 2 years from when she watched A New Hope for her to watch like the prequels finally. And then like she enjoyed them more because they were more modern, um, which I guess is understandable. She hated the second one because it's pretty bad.
It's
But
garbage. It's hot garbage.
yeah, Attack of the Clones isn't very good. But then she really liked Revenge of the Sith, and she liked the in between it like stories, the like Solo and Rogue One.
Yeah.
And then she loved the sequels, and most Star Wars fans hate the sequels. But
Well,
yeah, she loves them
also,
because like they're very modern, they're very entertaining for people who don't necessarily care about Star Wars. But there's a lot there to enjoy just for story.
and also just to put this out there, we have to remember that Star Wars fans are the worst.
Yeah, we're the worst.
Mookie, I'm not sure if you know this or not, but George Lucas actually sold Star Wars, and I believe he was cited. The reason he sold it was because he just said the fans are fucking awful. Like the
Yeah,
fans are
they're bad.
literally so bad.
I mean, that's I
Like,
I have a problem where honestly I try not to get into the fandoms of most things just
I
because there's always going to be a subset of people or a majority of people in the fandom that are just going to ruin the enjoyment of it for me because I'm like I just like casually enjoying things and like casually talking to people about why things are good, but also being able to say why something is bad without that being like, oh, now you're the person who hates that thing. And it's like, well, no, sometimes bad things exist that you can still, enjoy, but, it's dumb. But
Yeah.
that reminds me, I did see, um, what was it, like the second prequel? I did see that, but I remember nothing of it.
wait,
That's
what?
for me. All I remember is like Samuel L. Jackson, and then there being like a big, some big
Oh,
Oh
that
yeah,
seems like it was the
that's actually a
Coliseum.
good scene though.
yeah. Okay.
That's like the only good scene in the whole movie.
Yeah.
But there was a Coliseum fight, or they were in a big open thingy, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
on
No,
Geonosis, yeah.
Yeah, the problem with Attack.
Everything else stuck, so I guess I didn't like it. I guess.
We have 15 hours. We have about 15 hours. No, not even that. We probably have like 25 hours right now of Star Wars reviews on this channel by now.
Yeah.
But like, dude, Attack of the Clones is just so fucking bad. Like, oh my god. Like, I rewatched it a few weeks ago, and literally the first thing I said when I came back on the podcast was, I just rewatched Attack of the Clones. Like, my opinion didn't change at all. Like, it's just.
Yeah.
I hate sand. Like.
Okay, I relate to that though. Sand is annoying. It really is.
I read a good, thorough critique, and I really wanted to send it to you, Kage, and I completely spaced because I probably got too stoned and completely forgot, which happens all the fucking time. But basically, someone explained that scene to me, and it was more like he's saying he's not comfortable with the cushy lifestyle. Like she just before in that scene also said that she likes the sand of the beaches, and he says he's never going to be comfortable with sand because it always reminds him of his life as a slave.
Sure.
But also at the same time, my retort was that scene was so badly shot and so badly written. None of that comes across at all. It just seems like this awkward virgin teenager is just saying that he doesn't fucking like sand.
I think the scene was beautifully shot, but terribly written. Okay.
Okay.
And not even Natalie Portman could save the scene with her acting. Okay.
What acting? she just made angry, scared faces where she was trying not to burst into laughter.
Those were real emotions, okay? They weren't acting. She was actually terrified of Anakin.
That's why I hate like. Oh man.
Yeah, but I guess for like the backstory on like Star Wars fans in general is like when Star Wars came out, right, as a phenomenon, and nobody had ever experienced that before, and everybody fell in love, and George Lucas became like a god to people. Yeah. But then, like, everything he did after that, no matter what it was, they immediately hated. Like, 25 years ago, like yesterday? 25 years ago, he re-released the original trilogy as special editions in theaters. And every diehard original trilogy Star Wars fan hated it. They hated everything about it. And then the prequels came out, and they literally tried to like murder him in like the court of public opinion. Like they released documentaries about how Jar Jar Binks is a character based on like extreme Jamaican culture, and he's a racist and all this stuff, and like they tried to ruin him. And then the rest of the prequels came out, and it was even worse. And now, like, he had enough of it, so he sold Star Wars to Disney for $4 billion. And then
I don't blame him.
And then everyone said, "Well, look at Disney's doing great things with Marvel now. They'll probably do something great." And then they made movies, and everyone hated those. And it's just like you can't please Star Wars fans at all. So like, even like for me, like. I grew up with Star Wars, so I love all Star Wars. And when the sequels came out, I enjoyed them, even if I don't particularly love everything about them. I still think that they're fine movies. And now we're getting great Star Wars television shows. So, I mean, I don't mind people hating things or disliking them or whatever, but like to tell other people that they're wrong and they're not Star Wars fans, and get involved in that fandom argument is just annoying. Like I avoid it at all costs.
Yeah. And also, we've got 12 hours of this podcast. Kaje and I have gone into thorough critiques of why we think the newer movies are just difficultly not well put together. It was very obvious that there was no concrete story that carried over between three movies, and me and him share the same opinion. When you're sitting out saying, hey, guys, hey, fans, we're going to make 3 movies. You should write a story for 3 movies. Not just make a story that's a kickball you kick between different writers who have completely different themes and just different life experiences that shape their writing. Yeah. And it's just God.
Literally, what they did is they said, "Hey, Chair, come direct and write this movie. Okay, you're done with it. Okay, now Kage, you're gonna come and direct and write a sequel to that movie, but you're not gonna talk about it with the other person about what their plans were. And now Mookie, you're gonna do the same thing for the 3rd movie." And there's going to be no communication between any of us about these movies.
I kind of didn't want to do the 1st movie because I didn't think I would do it any justice. Like, I think it's time for maybe a new director with some new crazy special effects to step in and try to make a new, with a new series of actors, a new director could rise, maybe, possibly. oh wait, never mind. Disney told me I fucking had to, and I'm in contract with them, so I guess I fucking have to. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it's fucked up. It really is. Like, into like, there's no excuse for it because Disney, like, everyone hates on Disney for being like a mega corporation, like whatever. At the end of the day, they make magic. They really do. Like, they've pushed the boundaries when it comes to movie making. They made cartoons that have lasted, endured in childhood. Their own Pixar they greenlit recently the movie Soul, and I'm also starting to hear
Encanto.
Encanto is.
Encanto.
Some people are saying it's actually really good, so
I
I may
saw
go.
it.
Yeah, was it good?
All
Like,
positive stuff. I mean, like Disney, as much as people rag on Disney being like an evil corporation, like you said, yeah, they do make really good stuff.
yeah, and
And
they also are willing to
yeah,
spend $30
people who
billion
make
on these projects. That's like the most important thing I need to stress is like they're willing to put their money where their mouth is. Like, when you have a budget like that, you can do whatever the fuck you want, and that's great, and that's awesome, and I love that.
yeah.
And you can only get that budget to make a corporation money, but through mass commercialization through a park that's so expensive, but people just love it. They go there, and it's like they love it so much, and I love it too. Oh God, I love Disneyland so
Like
much.
the last movie that I watched, like the last animated movie that I watched that like truly impressed me, however, was not a Disney film. It was I don't even know who made it, but Klaus, like the Christmas movie,
Oh,
a marvel like of anime. It is so incredible to watch. Like,
that's the one that's like kind of like the animation is similar to like Coraline and stuff, right?
well, not like quite, because the thing is like the way that they animated it, like it is all 3D, but it looks exactly like a 2D animated film. Like the entire time, like I found myself questioning, like, is this 3D? But it doesn't look like the effects that they're using and like the way that the characters move and their expressions, like it does not look like a 3D animated thing. But the methods that they utilize to do this are just absolutely incredible. Um,
Yeah.
like I watched a sort of like behind the scenes like quick video afterwards, just because I was so curious, and I don't know, it's mind blowing to watch this film.
Yeah. See, unfortunately, Cage and I are both what you would define as miserable bastards, and I can tell by just looking at this movie right now that it is way too peppy and way too happy.
Well, it's very heartwarming. I mean, it's a Christmas movie, so like of
I
course.
don't need it. I don't need any of that. I
Maybe
just
I'm
need
getting it
depressing.
mixed up with something. There was one that was like a Christmas movie that came out that was like all the characters were like they seemed wooden, like they're and like had like ropey, stringy hair and stuff. And where like they're like some orphans and stuff, and then like they go live with someone nice or something, and it's like a Christmas. I don't know. It's weird.
I uploaded a picture, I think, of the care which she's talking about.
Oh yeah, I didn't watch that. I think my wife watched it.
It's beautiful. It's such a beautiful, well-made film.
It looks very peppy and like heartwarming, and it's like the exact opposite of everything I'm trying to put out into the world. So I think I'll send this one
I
out.
mean, it will warm your heart. So if you
I don't
don't
know.
want
I
to
don't
feel
need any of that.
feelings, you can watch it.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. Atolia in the chat says hello, and Ryujin says I haven't seen that movie, meaning Encanto, but I still know that we don't talk about Bruno, which is like the most popular song from the movie. And when I watched the movie and I heard the song, I thought, wow, this song is terrible, because most of the songs are really good in the movie, but like I don't know, I just don't like weird like plays on names in movies, and they kept saying Bruno, no, 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 and I'm just like, geez, that's annoying.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I
it's
don't know.
the biggest song in literally the biggest song in the world or something in the United States. Like not even just from the movie. Like it's #1 on the charts.
That's crazy. Well, there's a lot of kids right now, a lot of young people in the world, and Pixar movies
It's
have such a
more
broad
popular
appeal.
than Let It Go from Frozen.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, Lord.
Like it's had
Cha-ching,
more hits
baby.
than that song, and I'm just like, yo, what? Yeah, it's the new
Halloween
Let It Go,
cha-ching.
but Let It Go is actually good. Like
Yeah.
it's the only song Idina Menzel sings that I can actually stand because I think her voice is really annoying. Which I know a lot of people are gonna hate because people love Wicked and she was in Wicked, but I don't know. Her voice to me is just like kind of annoying.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm personally still reeling from Soul. I know it's like 4 or 5 years ago now, but man, like I love that movie so much. Like I didn't watch Luca, and a lot of people said Luca was actually quite good.
I didn't
But
watch it either. But
Yeah,
Disney and Pixar, I mean, everything they do is kind of gold, right? Like
It's for a good reason. Like Wally, you know, we got Wally. Up. God, Up was so
Jesus.
fucking good. Damn it. We should start a Pixar podcast and just talk about how great Pixar
Wally
is.
was really incredible. I still haven't watched Soul. Like, there's so many Disney films that I have not watched over years because I know they will make me cry. And I'm like, I have to prepare myself before I watch them. So I'm like, I gotta wait on Soul. Like, I know it will make me cry.
Soul made me cry a couple times. Like it was just so deep. Some of that movie, like I can't. That's the thing. Like these are kids' movies, and they cut so deep. It's like they have to walk on eggshells while also presenting these super complex themes, and they do it so masterfully.
I know.
Well, and at the same time, like Pixar is for a long time, like they're not just making movies, like they're also pushing the boundaries of what they're able to do with animation and different things. Like if you look at like the evolution of stuff like Toy Story, like how they did that in the first place is just like crazy. Like and then they like program all these facial expressions and things that they can do, like just stuff like that was unheard of at the time when they made it, and it's like
questions you will get.
Jesus, Twitch, shut up.
Yeah, those Twitch ads can come out of nowhere.
But yeah, I mean, and that's the same thing. Like that's why George Lucas is like renowned as much as he is. It's not just Star Wars. It's like everything he did to push the boundaries of filmmaking and has changed filmmaking forever.
You know, like you and I, actually, I don't think I've ever asked Mookie about this. Do you have you watched the Lord of the Rings movies, like the original 3? Did you particularly like them, even though they can be scary sometimes?
I watched the first one, and then I looked at the other ones, and I thought they're so long, and I just didn't.
Yeah, they can be. It's definitely a journey to watch all of them in a row. That's for sure.
Well, I will say that a lot of the reason why I have not watched so many films or played so many video games is just because when all of these things were coming out, I was still in college, and I was like, I don't have the time to do this because I have to make money and support myself and be able to buy food and also pay my bills to be able to continue to go to class, and then I just didn't have time, and so I was like, it's either watch a movie or do homework or sleep.
Yeah.
And sleep was definitely a commodity I didn't get much of. So.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, I have time, and I'm like, I should watch these, but they're so long.
Yeah.
That's how I am with everything. Like that. Like I don't have a general base interest in. Like for me, like if it's Marvel or Star Wars or Lord of the Rings, like I'm not gonna not watch it. But if it's anything else, like I don't give a shit about The Matrix. I'm not gonna make time to watch that. Like I'm not. I don't watch many movies that aren't like nerd movies that I don't have an interest in. Like I haven't seen a bunch of movies that are like super popular that everyone knows, that everyone loves, just because I have no interest in it. Like no baseline interest whatsoever. I wouldn't have seen Encanto if my wife didn't want to see it.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to watch it now. Damn it.
Yeah, it's on Disney Plus. I mean, for free, and I mean, if you subscribe for whatever $6-7 a month.
Free for me because I mooch off my family.
Yeah.
Such a douchebag.
I subscribe to Disney Plus, and I can't watch anything on it because I have a 2-year-old, and every time I turn it on, she's just like, Doc makes sense, and I'm like, please stop.
Yeah, Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, dude.
Little Mermaid, and halfway, 5 minutes in, she was just like, Winnie the Pooh, and I'm like, please, no, let's watch this. I want to share this with you, small child.
Yeah, gotta strap him in. You gotta wait till she's 3 or 4. Let's give her some food.
I also when actually the things that I did watch when I was in college, when I did make time to watch a movie, it was usually a horror film. So.
Yeah.
Did you attend a university or in dorms and stuff?
Yeah, I went to Kennesaw State in Georgia, and I was in dorms for the first couple of years. But then when I moved to Georgia, it was pretty much just me and my van. And I was like, I'm gonna go back to college. So I enrolled myself. When I first went to college, it was right out of high school, but I couldn't stay because it was the Art Institute, and they're very much a for-profit college. So when it became clear that this person doesn't have money to just spend willy-nilly on tuition, they were like, okay, bye.
Yeah.
Frustrating, but
I went to college straight out of high school too.
Business school.
No. Before I went to business school, I I left California. I went to Wisconsin because I got admitted to a private college, free tuition, but like they try to milk you for money you don't have because they're giving you free school, and they're like, well, you're here, so you have to stay on campus for the first year, and
Yeah.
because you're on campus, you have to have a meal plan. And I'm like, yo, I'm not gonna eat any of your shitty food, yo. I don't want to pay for your food. I'll just go to McDonald's. It's free. I mean, it's cheap. It's not free, but
That's
you know,
cheap. Yeah, not free.
and I like it, right? And so, like after about 3 weeks of just watching Firefly in my dorm, and doing nothing, like because I don't know, the school was boring anyway. Like I don't know. I just left. I just went back home and dropped out, and I still had to pay $3,000 for a dorm and food I never ate.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. My student loans for putting myself through college, I owe like almost $70,000.
Sounds
And
about
when I
right.
graduated, I owed $64,000. So I don't know how that works, but
No, like
apparently it
yeah,
just keeps going up. It's a ridiculous situation.
compounding interest and the fact that student loan companies are actually just loan sharks in disguise. They're just
Pretty
legalized loan sharks. Like
It's pretty.
the price of college back when my grandpa like went to college, he went to Stanford University, right? Taught one of the most important schools in California, and also considered to be one of the top universities in the world. He went there for a business program. It was just everything was basically sold at cost because the philosophy was that you're supposed to be supporting the students in their learning, and now it's like not that at all. Like they just nickel and dime you to fucking death, and it doesn't make any sense to me. But God,
I mean, the thing is, like, a lot of people might say, "Oh, well, I owe all this money in student loans, but if I don't pay it, like, what are they really gonna do, right? Like, they're not gonna like necessarily
follows
like
you through
put you into
bankruptcy.
collections or any of that, right?
Yeah,
But you can't buy a house. Your credit goes to shit. You can't like
Yeah.
you literally can't do anything just because you have this like massive debt just because you wanted to go to school, and it's
you
just
can't
like,
even declare bankruptcy to get out of it. It follows you through fucking bankruptcy.
oh, my dad
Like,
did.
oh well,
That
that's
was 10,
back in the day.
11, 15, 16 years ago.
Yeah.
He had $150,000 in student loans.
It's extremely frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, what can I do? It's there. I'm like, y'all will get your money when you get your money. I'll pay you, but I'm sorry. Like I gotta buy diapers. Like, come on.
yeah. At least like people are allowed to defer it right now through like COVID. I don't know what the impact will be after that. Like once like the deferment time has ended and stuff. Like if student loan companies are gonna like do something to affect your loan, how much you owe them or your interest because you haven't paid them for 2 years or whatever. But when yeah, when the deferment stuff came in and like, oh, you don't have to pay student loans for a while, I told my wife, yeah, don't pay it. Like the most important thing in this economy is liquid cash. Save your money.
Yeah.
Like we like I haven't really saved anything, but it has made it much easier to like, buy this new house and to move and to be able to afford like getting a second car so that like we don't have to sort of cram ourselves into one car, and it has made things like much easier. I think like the one benefit of the deferment has been like to be able to do it without having to worry about accruing interest because the interest is brutal.
Yeah.
But like I don't know, we'll see what happens whenever the payments. I'm glad that they delayed it again, because it was supposed to go back into repayment like the beginning of this month, actually, beginning of February. But they pushed it back again to May.
Yeah.
Even though I know the president said like we're not going to push it back again. And I'm like, dude, you got to do something about this. Like people are hurting. Like I don't even care if it's, so many people say they're like, oh, they need to forgive everyone's student loans, and I'm like, I don't even care about them forgiving it. I don't mind paying back all the money, but if they could do something about the way it accrues interest over time and essentially makes it so that people who cannot afford to pay, the
Trapped
huge
forever.
amount that you would expect,
Yep.
can pay off this balance and actually see an end in sight, that would be great. Like if they even change it to like, we are no longer going to charge interest for people who've already established student loans, and you just have to pay back the principal. At least then, like I could see the number going down.
Yeah, I think student loans are just ridiculous. Like if
Yeah.
I knew I would have to pay to go to college, like luckily I didn't. Even when I went to online school, I wouldn't have gone because it's just like ridiculous. Like this, just like debt follows you around pretty much your whole life, and it's just like it's so absurd. Like okay, like right now you owe 70K, but over time you're
Yeah.
gonna end up paying 160, right?
I also
Yeah,
just want to
pretty much.
reiterate this really quick. Like, also from just a moral standpoint, like you're putting people into humongous amounts of debt only solely because they want to better themselves and educate themselves and like
Yeah, exactly.
take advantage of the wealth of information that's out there, and you're charging them hand over fist far more expensive than anything else that's available in this country aside from like luxury extreme luxury items like luxury real estate or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's
Spent 70,000 on a yacht, then like yeah, charge me out the wazoo for interest, but like
yeah.
to learn a thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I guess I'm just a radical of the group where I think all student debt should just be abolished, even if it's going to have a huge impact on financial markets. Like it's just the spirit of the idea of people getting into student loan debt is just ugh, like, they pay a cost. It's called going to school. Going to school fucking sucks.
They want to forgive it. I'm not going to argue with them.
Yeah,
Be like, go ahead and trash the economy if it means I don't have to pay this money back. But honestly, like you don't have to go that far. Just
I don't know if see this
charge
thing like
not
I don't
reduce
know if
substantial
I,
amount.
at this point, I don't know if it would trash the economy. I feel like it would trash a specific place called Wall Street, and I have no problem over here on the West Coast with that place going up in flames because I guess because I'm over here and it's over there, so maybe I'm kind of an asshole. But
Well, I mean, I think it's worse though. Like, think about right when the market crashed in 2008. Right? Why did that happen?
Yeah.
Well, they were giving loans to people who couldn't afford to pay them back. Well, let me tell you something. People with no jobs going to school for 4 years really can't fucking afford to pay shit back either. Like, if they all default on their loans, what's it gonna do? I mean, they're not losing their houses because those are different loans, right? Like, it's not gonna affect people personally as much as it's gonna affect like big banks and things that are gonna lose all this money, right? But
hopefully they don't put the squeeze somewhere else because, like you saw in 2008, it was just greed. That's what happened, and literally the entire world economy imploded for a few years. Like it's just.
And before anyone says, but the government bailed them out, just remember that those banks did pay the government back. They had to pay those loans back for getting bailed out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just it is what it is. Like, I don't think like it's necessarily fair. Like student loans in general, like I don't think they're fair to the people who get them. Like you're taking people like literally like naive young adults and saying, hey, here's $60,000 for you to go to school, and when you come out, hopefully there's a job for you to pay us back. And by the way, here's interest on it, and you don't understand how interest works or anything, but yeah, it's just like buying a house. Like first time home buyers, like they get charged interest out the wazoo, and that interest you're just losing money by paying that interest. Like first time home buyers should always like refinance as soon as possible to get into a lower interest rate, or else they're just throwing away $100 every month.
Yeah, I thought like I actually got a really good interest rate on my first house, so we didn't refinance. But I know like the first thing our realtor told us when we when I was signing on my current home is that like I didn't put down a huge down payment, and so like I have to pay mortgage insurance. But they were like, when you get to this number of your principal being left, like call them and have them removed.
Well, it's not even the principal. As long as you have like 40, 20, 40 something, some big percent equity in your home. Like if it's worth like a lot more than what you owe on it right now, like 40% more or something, you can get rid of mortgage insurance.
Yeah.
So
I think it'll be like a couple years until we're there, but we're not far because I put a decent amount down, but it's still like I was like it's a little shy. So and
you got a really good deal too for your first house, right?
Do what?
You got a really good deal for your first house, right? I forgot.
Yeah, pretty good deal. I think it was I bought our first house for like 175,000. And it's like just a little bit outside of the Atlanta perimeter.
Oh man, that must be so nice.
That'll buy you a double wide here.
Yeah, that won't even buy you a double wide. It'll buy you a fucking 600 foot by 600 foot lot.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath house with a full unfinished basement that we ended up finishing and adding on 2 additional rooms. And when I sold the house, we sold it for a little over 300,000. But we moved into a house that was like just shy of 300,000. So
Atlanta's a really hot market right now too, so I'm not surprised you guys got a really
It's
turn
very
around for a lot.
I'm sure if we had rated and like listed it ourselves, we probably could have gotten something like 320, 350K for it. But I was like, look, I want to get out of Atlanta as quickly as possible. I work from home now, so I don't have to see the city anymore if I don't want to. I've always wanted to live somewhere a little bit quieter, but like not too far away that I can't like go do fun things that aren't out in the boonies.
Yeah.
And this was just like when I saw this house, I was like, it is literally perfect. So I kind of jumped on it.
Atlanta seems tough to live in. Like living in
It's
the city of Atlanta.
Yeah, it's crowded. It's like too busy. Like the public transit just like really sucks.
95%
Telling
humidity.
you every year, like, hey, invest in public transit to like extend it, better to the suburbs beyond the perimeter because so many people are spending so much money and like crowding the interstates to commute into the city that like if we just focused on extending like maybe the train system and stuff so that it ran outside the city in more directions, that'd be great. And they just continue to spend money on not that. And it just like they just don't. They say they care about public transit, they really don't, or else they would have
Aren't
fixed this.
homicide rates in Atlanta like crazy?
I think in certain areas.
So it's like Chicago, where it's like, stay away from the south side, but other than that, you're good.
Honestly, I think a lot of people say like the south side of Atlanta is where it's kind of
It's like,
rougher. Because especially like the prison is down in that area. So.
Or it's just like San Francisco, just don't get off at Mission Street at the Mission Park Station. Just don't do it.
Look,
So
I would
wild
avoid all of it.
it's being gentrified that you'll be in like a rough section of the city and then right around the corners there'll be a fucking Whole Foods.
Yeah.
And like, white people running down the boardwalk and it's just like what? And it's bizarre. Like you don't know what's safe because like it's bonkers. It is also like such a shame to see how they are gentrifying the city of Atlanta and like not prioritizing investing in to lower income neighborhoods. It's wild. But like they're making money and it's like, you know, they get more tech bros in the city, so I can understand why
Well,
they're just like,
I mean,
"What
that's
do
a
we do?"
problem with gentrification altogether, right? Like, if they did gentrify the low income areas, they're gonna price all those people out of the market. They're gonna have to move to other low income areas, right?
Or you'll get the same problem you have in San Francisco, where that population gets priced out of the market. They have nowhere to go, and now they're all out on the street. And I'm sure like the thing about California with the homeless population being as large as it is, and like this sounds brutal, but it's just a little bit easier to live out in the open in California than it is in other parts of the country because if we don't get 32 and below weather, our hottest days are usually like 100. I think the hottest day I've ever experienced out here was like 110. Humidity is always at 0%.
Okay, that's not true though. My first day working at the harbor was 116 degrees.
Oh wow,
That was
How?
Why'd you say
Live?
I had to say the harbor, man. I hate that place.
that was June of 2012. 116 degrees.
Remember my first day? I was wearing jeans the whole day, and like everyone kept asking me like, "Hey, do you want to keep like?" And I had my shirt tucked in. Everyone's like, "Hey, do you want to change into shorts?" So I'm like, "No, I have to be professional. It's a job." I was like fucking little baby Matt.
I showed up for like 4th of July, right? When I was like working like overnights, they wanted me to come in early, so I showed up at noon, and I was wearing jeans, and it was so hot that day. And then I worked like 12 hours. It was a nightmare.
Yeah, dude.
That's bonkers.
So glad I'm not working there anymore. That's what I gotta fucking say.
Hot here, but not nearly that hot. But the humidity though is usually what kills it.
Yeah, I mean, like when I lived in the Midwest, it was like, summer. You took a shower in the morning, you felt fresh. You walked outside, and you felt disgustingly sticky.
Yeah. I went to visit Mookie for a week and a half. Man, oh fuck, dude, I'm good. Oh,
Like, why
85,
so much? And then you
95%, dude. I was like swimming through the air. As soon as I stepped out into the frickin' street outside of the Atlanta airport, like I was like, oh my god, this is hell. This is hell on earth.
Yeah.
no,
Oh.
man, that's porch weather.
Oh, I'm good. No, thank you.
Yeah.
Sweet porch weather.
Oh,
My dad was
good.
born in Georgia, but I've never been there, so.
It's very green.
Yeah. Very
Yeah.
lively.
California's very brown.
Yeah. Well, right now it's actually pretty green.
Some parts, yeah. But by where you live, it's all brown. Like,
no, it's green right now. It's got super cold nights and it's like wet in the morning, super dewy. All the fog's coming in, so
yeah, but it's just around you is all like dirt fields and dirt levees, and like there's not a lot of.
Got the hills, got Round Valley, man. Like the
in
one
the
hike.
distance.
It's only like 10 minutes away. What are you talking about? It's right there.
Okay.
First 50 miles are free in my car. Electric, man. I got a 50-mile range. Just do whatever the fuck I want. Take my crazy ass dog, and she literally tries to attack other cars while we're fucking driving around.
Jesus.
Completely unrelated to, I don't know, drowning in humidity. Have either of y'all like played or read anything about this RPG that like I think it released on PS4 and Switch and probably some other stuff. I'm trying to find the name because I bought it on Switch. Fuga Melodies of Steel.
Nah.
No.
It's really adorable. Well, kind of adorable. It has kind of like a gritty steampunk thing. And the thing that has like fucked me up about this game, which I've only gotten through the tutorial because at the end of the tutorial I was like, my emotions, I can't with this right now. Like I guess you play this band of children who are trying to save their town or their little village. And they found this mysterious giant sort of like mechanical steampunk sentient machine. And they have to like fight against these forces that look very much like Nazi soldiers or whatever. And all of the characters are anthropomorphic, like stylized kawaii anthropomorphic characters. And the thing that fucked me up is like at one point you started a boss battle and you're not doing good. It's scripted that you are going to fail this boss battle. And they're like, you've been hit really hard and like we have to defend ourselves. And the machine is like, one of you has to sacrifice yourself. And there is a sacrificial like chamber. And you have to decide like if you're going to use this thing, it will help you probably decimate your opponent if you're struggling and you're about to die. But you have to sacrifice the soul of a child.
Yeah, it's pretty intense.
So then you have to, in this tutorial, you have to pick one of the sickest children, and like the chamber calls for them, and they're like, I want to protect my friends. And they go in there and it fucking converts this child into soul energy to activate a soul cannon, which it uses to decimate the opponent and blow them to smithereens. And then the child's just gone. And all the other children are just like, oh, we're totally demoralized. And I'm like, yeah, because your friend just died. You just turned your friend into cannon power. It's insane. But then it rewinds. It's like, we have to redo this. And it tells you, like,
that sounds very anime.
Up until that point, it kind of just sounded like the Iron Giant.
Yeah.
A little bit. And like the artwork is really good. And so far, I'm like, I'm feeling the way that they're going with the story because it's a little messed up, and I like things that are a little messed up. But I was like, I was not expecting to have to sacrifice a cat child to blow up an enemy. And this is interesting, but my heart right now, I have to put this down. My heart can't handle
it. It sounds very anime. No, I have not played that game, and now I don't want to.
Yeah.
There you go.
It sounds like a...
So, it's a fun game if you don't want your heart broken. And
I'm gonna play Dota 2 because I fucking hate myself, though. Come on, man.
Do you?
Yeah. Gotta move to Taiwan, live off DoorDash gift cards. Fight off the People's Liberation Army when they finally invade.
I just read indie comics and cry myself to sleep.
Yeah, same. Well, no, I don't read any comics. I read any books. So
Yeah, I don't read. I don't cry myself to sleep anymore.
oh well.
Anymore. Anymore.
Hey, you sometimes you're in a bad place and you get to a good place, and
Yeah.
now I'm in the good place. But
Get to that good place by crying every night.
no, honestly, like it's a lot of working on yourself. But I got lucky and didn't have to work on myself. I just met a wonderful woman who helped me love myself. And that usually you work on yourself, and then a nice lady finds you and says, "Wow, you're a full-grown, proper adult who knows how to conduct yourself in public." Um, and yeah, but no, I didn't. And then I met a lady, and she was like, "You're not fully developed, but I'll help you."
Nice.
It wasn't exactly like that, but it could be the next Romeo and Juliet if you think about it.
Next
Yeah.
time I'm husband, I'm gonna be like, wow, you are a full grown adult.
Yeah, dude. I'm over here just by myself. All by myself.
Don't worry, you'll get there.
I don't know. I'm too
You're
crazy.
taking the right steps though, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you are working on yourself on the low key.
Yeah. Just walking 5 miles, no biggie.
Yeah.
Even though you like shit still, I need to stop doing that.
5 years ago, I just gave up. I gave up on everything. I was done with life.
Yeah.
All right. But yeah, some good things happened, and now I'm what's the word?
Straight buzzing.
No. I'm a TikTok kid. I'm bussin'.
Yeah.
Sheesh. No. I'm just blessed to be where I am. So, but it takes a long time. Anyway,
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep playing Dota 2 until I go pro. Do that. I
I'm
talked
doing good.
to Mookie. I'm gonna get like a 12-pack. I'm gonna rebrand myself, call myself Your Awful Anime Boyfriend, and then I'm gonna start a harem, and I'm gonna get a bunch of e-girl sips to give me their money on Twitch. That's exactly what I'm gonna do.
That'll work.
Exactly, just like that.
yeah, you need to get like some cat ears or like something.
Yeah, dude. I'm gonna get a VTuber super cute. I'm gonna start playing Genshin Impact and exclusively play the cat boy or the fox boy or whatever.
Yeah, start farming karma, right?
So many e-girl sims, dude. I'm gonna be just
Prepare yourself to like start ending your sentences with "nya,"
Yeah.
because girls like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, like do little peace sign whiskers or whatever,
Oh my god, so cute.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah.
Right, on that note, what else we got to talk about?
Well, you and I briefly mentioned this before we started, but the latest episode of the Book of Boba Fett.
You mean the newest episode of The Mandalorian?
Yeah. It was literally an episode of The Mandalorian. Boba Fett wasn't in it once, and yeah, it was the best episode of the season so far, shockingly. Yeah, we're talking about Star Wars now, Mookie. Sorry, but
well, we're talking about yeah.
I find your discussions of Star Wars actually interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're big brain individuals who know everything.
That's right.
So.
We have superior fan intellects. We're better than those other fans.
I'm not better than anyone, but I mean,
You're a nerd.
Well, I'm better than everybody else.
Yeah.
I know that, so
that's why we balance each other.
Exactly. He's the good cop. I'm the bad cop.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm gonna get some gosh dang food.
But, I mean, it was just really good. Great fight scenes. Going back to the Coven, they're on this ship now, and they're like rebuilding.
Yeah, lots of nostalgia.
Just that one Buffalorian, that one guy, the huge guy in the armor. Says he takes off his helmet, and he just quits the Coven. And he says, "This is stupid. You guys are extremists. I'm out." Like,
yeah. What did you think of the Mandalore lore?
I mean, it's all right. It's been written 100 different times, 100 different ways. Like, everyone's got their own version of what they think Mandalore should or shouldn't be. I'll just see what happens, until they actually like find the helmet, or maybe they find like Mandalore's armor and really start to actually bring it in. But for right now, I'll just have to wait and see what happens.
Yeah.
World building's nice, but showing us the world building is even better.
I mean, we saw the Night of 1,000 Years.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Something like that. They all got bombed at the same time with all those big TIE fighters. Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure the that's the name of a war in Tolkien's history, the War of 1,000 Years.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a
In Skyrim, there's a thing called the Night of 100 Years, so I just think it's a common thing.
Gotcha. All right. Well, yeah. I mean, there's not a whole lot else to say about the episode except it was the best one, and there was no Boba Fett in it, even though it's a show about Boba Fett. There's a lot of nostalgia and stuff like that, and
They rebuild the Naboo N1 fighter and like this hot rod thing, which is pretty dope. I honestly
he does
actually,
the Boonta race, the Boonta Eve pod race.
Kind of don't like the idea of a bounty hunter running around in single seater, but whatever.
It has a little cabin in the back for Grogu, yo. Didn't you see it?
Yeah, he's gonna.
They haul out the astromech slot.
Yeah.
He's gonna. Hey, do you think Luke is gonna teach him how to use the dark saber? Huh?
Maybe. I don't know what's gonna happen. Like, I fucking hope not, because I'm kind of tired of Luke Skywalker and all these Star Wars stories. But I'm hoping because we got BD-8, so I'm kind of hoping we'll see Cal Kestis, from Jedi Fallen Order, because
I think they want you to hope that.
I very much am hoping I am doing all of those things that you just described.
You're not gonna get him, but they want you to want him.
I think you're wrong, and I believe through the power of my will, he will be manifested, because he's the most interesting male character we've gotten in a long time, and I think he needs to be in a show right stand now. That's all I gotta say.
Gotcha.
Even the it's funny because in the video game, the droid, the same leg gets injured that it's slumping on in the show. So it's we'll never know.
Yeah, I didn't finish the game, but I did like the droid. So
yeah.
But yeah. Other than that, I mean, there's not a whole lot going on in the nerd world. Batman comes out in March.
Oh, like the one with Robert Pattinson?
Yeah.
So hopefully it'll be good.
Yeah, I'm gonna see it, but I don't know. Like it looks good to me so far, but like
I think we could all. I just speak for all of us when I say that, like, all of our hopes and dreams for the DC verse have been completely crushed and destroyed and trash compacted at this point, and then burnt to a crisp, and then the ashes were stamped on.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I mean that happened though, like years ago. Warner Brothers has shown that they have no idea what they're doing. They're a dysfunctional company when it comes to creating the DC extended universe or whatever you want to call it. Like they make very good animated movies, but they make very bad regular movie live action. Like they tried to like copy Marvel but do it in their own way, and they just failed in both ways. So,
and they just tried to rush it too. That was the other thing. Like when the Avengers came out, each of the Avengers had their own movie. You would have expected, like, the thing is that came out first, so that's the audience's expectation, and you can't just skip the line like you're better with shitty movies that nobody watched.
Right. Well, I mean, and if you look at what they did, right? They said, well, we'll do Superman, we'll do Man of Steel, and then we'll do BVS to introduce Batman, and it's like a Batman movie but with Superman in it, and then we'll do Wonder Woman, and then we'll do Justice League, and their thinking is like, well, the Avengers, like Black Widow and Hawkeye, didn't get their own movies, and they're not that important. So I'm pretty sure DC believes that Green Lantern, The Flash, Martian Manhunter, Red Tornado, Blue Beetle, Booster Gold, these are not important characters. We can just shoehorn them into the next movie. It's so bad.
Yeah.
But
so awful that either, like, basically everybody on the movie is just shouting that I was treated wrong because of, like, I am a certain way, or this, like, I was abused, or Gal Gadot thought she was physically threatened. That's just something I continually want to point out. Like, that's how bad the culture was on set. Like I said, I'll just keep saying this. Like, even if he was misinterpreted on set, like, man, like, when I get misinterpreted by someone, I usually don't get misinterpreted. Oh, I actually misinterpreted that you wanted to physically murder me.
well, I mean, the way that she's always said is, like, he threatened her career. But then in his interview, he mentioned like she thought he was saying that she was gonna die or something. I don't know. Like, it's just like it's a weird thing. Because like I think we can chalk up most of the issues on Justice League like to Joss Whedon.
And poor management.
Right, but like the DC universe as a whole and how that's handled, it's a Warner Brothers, right? Like it comes from the top down, obviously, but um, I mean Zack Snyder partially as well. Like the way he chose to make BVS and Man of Steel, like just aren't everyone's cup of tea. And I mean, just internally, like the logic of BVS makes no sense. But whatever, I digress. So
why did you say Martha?
I mean, that's only a small part of the issue with it. I mean, look, Bruce Wayne's whole vendetta against Superman is that like he fought Zod in the city and innocent people died, and then he spends the rest of the movie just murdering people for no reason, like without any care in the world. And then, sure, yeah, they fight, and then there's the Martha thing, but Superman is near the kryptonite spear and he can't swim out of the water. But then he can grab it and fly 300 meters in the air and have enough power to stab Doomsday. Like, none of it makes any sense logically. But okay, it's a movie.
Yeah. And also the whole dead not dead thing. I always fucking hate that in movies. It's like basically saying you don't have the balls to pull this off. You don't have the balls to remove a character that people like because that's something that would be shocking and interesting and shaking up the plot a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, they wasted the whole last 30 minutes of that movie just showing us like this funeral, fucking military funeral with bagpipes and horses and shit, like for Superman. And it's like, we all know he's not dead.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a waste of time, but okay, sure. So what, obviously, like, yeah, I mean, okay, it's building up for the plot of Justice League or whatever, but it's a pointless plot point as well. Like,
so he just gets resurrected super quick.
the issue with Justice League, the first issue starts with killing Superman and BVS.
Yeah.
Because then you just write yourself into a corner. Like you have to build your story around resurrecting him.
Yep. And him and Batman were the founding members of the Justice League. They're the ones that were supposed to be palling around, going around collecting all these heroes. At least that's how I remember it in the shows that I watched and grew up with, and which I was so excited to see these movies and so disappointed and let down. Still, it's a stream of the Dark Knight. I go watch those movies sometimes because God, those movies are so good. I kind of love them. Like, I'm not sure if they're like good Batman movies or anything like that, but they're just such good movies. They really are. Like Heath Ledger. Obviously he gave his all because he literally gave his all. Sorry, that's a little dark, but it's
he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, those movies are still good. I don't like The Dark Knight Rises, but
I like Bane not being buff.
no, it's another thing where it's like the internal logic makes no sense. Where like the bomb at the end, like it has like a 20-mile radius or something. But like you can still see it when it explodes, flying over Gotham Harbor, and it's like that obviously would have killed everybody in the city or caused a massive tidal wave or something, but it just didn't do anything. It didn't even kill Bruce Wayne, who was flying the fucking ship. So like, I'm out at that point. I was like, this is so dumb. But anyway,
what else?
I don't know if there is anything else.
Oh, well.
Do you have anything else?
No, not really. Just been still on the Palantir right now chapter. So I just started the Palantir.
What, in Return of the King?
Yeah. I think, or it is Return of the King. Yeah. Is it, or is it Twin Towers? I can't fucking remember. The Palantir. It's like one of the first chapters maybe of Return of the King. No, I haven't seen book 3 yet, so I'm pretty sure this is still Twin Towers. It's after Pippin he picks up the Palantir the first time. Gandalf grabs it. Then Pippin's like, I feel like I really fucking want to touch that thing and hold it in my hands and look at it. And Mary's like, stop being such a crazy
little... that's the Two Towers, because the first chapter of Return of the King is them riding to Gondor.
Yep.
So
can't wait. One thing at a time. I got a whole bunch of other books I need to read this year. Got a big old reading list sitting on my shelf, so gotta keep cracking at it. Books in the brain. pure intelligence. That's all it is. The big brain. The big brain sponge.
Yeah.
Yep.
Big brain.
Big brain.
Well, I guess I'm gonna go cook dinner then.
Yeah, it's probably an important thing to eat instead of just having a single beer and calling it dinner.
Yeah. I'm sure my wife is hungry. She's waiting for me to cook.
Mookie is muted, which means she's probably just eat. Oh, there she goes.
No, I was eating Fruity Pebbles and enjoying the conversation because I have not seen most of the DC movies. So
Yeah, it's a
I'm
travesty.
just
It
sitting
really
here
is.
thinking like, man, this sounds like a terrible movie.
Yeah.
It it's disappointing being it. Basically, like Cage is a DC fan because he grew up with the fucking comics. But I also think he said it right. Like, and I didn't really think about this until he pointed out. Like, so I'm just gonna basically reiterate what he said. Like, nobody gave a shit about Iron Man or Captain America or anything. Like, like Marvel was actually kind of like the underdog in the comic. Well, I don't think they were the underdog, but like, it was just.
Oh, they absolutely were. Marvel almost got bought by DC in the 80s. They almost went bankrupt.
Yeah, and everybody, and he was of my mind. Everybody was more excited to see Batman movie, and we got The Dark Knight. And it was really good, and then we didn't get anything else for a really long time. And then we got what was the first newest movie? It was Wonder Woman, Man of Steel. That's right. It came out. Henry Cavill was a fan.
Yeah.
Henry Cavill, I thought was a fantastic Superman. He looked the part. He looks like Superman. I don't know how else to describe it. Takes his shirt off. He has
he's very Superman.
Yeah, he looks like he is Superman.
He looks like literal God. Okay, let's not mince words here.
Which is the perfect person to play Superman, and I feel so bad for him that he basically he got screwed out of this role because of just shitty management on the part of DC, not DC, Warner Brothers, just horrible management, and because of that, these comics that we all kind of the show that I grew up with in the early 2000s, the Justice League show, which I watched religiously every Friday night. They had 3 new episodes in a row because they were all like 20 minutes long, so I would just sit there and watch them for a full hour, and I loved it. I remember, I remember the first episode of Justice League when the Martians were invading, kidnapping people, and like turning them into juice. What happened to that? Why couldn't we got a movie like that?
Yeah, I mean, when I read comics, like I enjoy Marvel more most of the time, but like DC has always been more, I guess, nuanced in its storytelling in comic books, and that's why like a lot of like DC writers will go do indie comics, because like indie comics, they have a lot of great stories to tell that aren't like superhero based or something. Like there's so many good indie comics that people have no idea about until they become Netflix TV shows. Yeah. But it's just like when people most people who never read comic books, like, take that out of it, right? People who have like their experience with superheroes or whatever growing up is like, yeah, it's like Teen Titans or Justice League Unlimited or something. Like, these are very well animated, well written stories that like everyone can enjoy, right? Batman the Animated Series and stuff like that. Like, people love those shows as kids, and then then they go to the theater to watch their favorite superhero, and it's like, yo, what is this? What is this? Like,
why is Superman not saving his dad? Like, why is his dad just?
And those are the people who like Zack Snyder's takes on these things are like more than likely the people who think Injustice is the best story ever told.
Yeah.
Right. And like Injustice is a fine alternate reality story about like Superman being an evil person and like whatever. But like it felt like Zack Snyder like read like Injustice comics or played the game and thought, I love this. I'm going with this. Right? Let's put Superman in the most precarious situation possible where he either has to kill Zod or let innocent people die instead of just being the powerful person he is who could do something else. Like, he just kills Zod. Like, having Superman kill somebody in his first appearance in a movie is kind of a mistake.
Yeah.
But that's fine. Like, I think what Marvel does so well with their movies is they take characters who are like nobodies. Like, Iron Man was always the least interesting member of the Avengers. Always. Nobody gave a shit about him. Like, he was a C-list character. Nobody liked Iron Man. He had a lot of issues as a person in comics and whatever. And then you get Robert Downey Jr. to bring this character to life, who changes the character forever because he's so good, right?
Yeah.
He took the best parts of Tony Stark's personality and combined them with like strangely familiar parts of his own personality and created this charismatic, kind of douchey character that people just really liked, right? Chris Evans took goody two-shoes Captain America and didn't make him boring, I'm just the goody good best person ever. He made him vulnerable and interesting, right? He lets you connect with Captain America in a way that most people who read comic books don't connect with Captain America, right? That's what makes those characters so good on screen. And their characters, also, like I said, I don't give a shit about in comics.
And also, some of these movies, some of the Marvel movies, are just so well made and so well put together. Like Civil War, God, like it's such a fantastic movie from start to finish. How Baron Zemo, someone with no powers, no nothing, like he's not. His entire country's been like basically destroyed at this point, right? So he doesn't really have access to many resources, or at least I think he doesn't. But now that I'm thinking about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I think that he does. But either way, like this guy we get introduced to with like no powers, no nothing. Like he just builds the way they build him up on screen with his screen time and turn him into this mastermind that basically tore the Avengers apart from the inside out without really firing a shot.
That being the basis, like Civil War, obviously that was where they were going to go. But it's like he's not just another villain who's like, I'm going to kill Iron Man. Like his whole
I'm going to make the Avengers kill each other. That's what he said.
Yeah,
like that's what he almost did basically.
I will say I think it's very clear that like people who created the Marvel films understood that like the importance of making a good fun cinematic experience for people who are going to be sitting there and watching something for two. And I think they have a good handle on like what do people who really like superheroes really want to see.
Yeah, I just think Rio's dropping some wisdom in the chat right now.
Yeah, you can read.
No, I think Rio is suggesting that every time Superman kills somebody, it just creates a Horcrux, but we're going to call it something else due to copyright issues. And then eventually the superheroes have to go find all of Superman's Horcruxes and blow them up so they can kill Superman. Good idea.
No, I think they're going to restore the good and have to kill Superman, then restore the good version. Oh, interesting.
Oh, how do you...
I don't know how you do that, but
yeah.
I think what they do is like they could double or triple down, right? And like once they kill him, just go to another universe and get a different Superman. just planet Earth, adopt a Superman from Earth 2. All right,
yeah.
Hey.
Alright, also too, like you are right. Like the Injustice storyline, like God, like me and Rio together rewatched the Flashpoint Paradox animation. I'm not sure if you ever watched that. That thing is fucking crazy.
Yeah,
it's awesome. And I would love to see that as a movie. You got Batman's dad with guns running around gunning people.
Pretty much, the Flash movie is supposed to be Flashpoint, and hopefully it rewrites the entire DCEU nonsense. And I mean, that's the thing. Like, we were supposed to get a Flash movie like 4 years ago, but it's had like 19 different writers and 137 rewrites and everything else and lost actors because it's just so dysfunctional.
Warner Brothers, yeah, like they just don't know what they want. And honestly, all they should want to do is empower people to make good DC movies, but they don't want that. They want to like make, I don't know what they want. I don't think Warner Brothers knows what they want either. So
the Rick and Morty.
Just solve things through the power of friendship.
That's dude. You gotta hold hands.
Yeah, Ryujin says, I think that's Superman, the Rick and Morty edition, Infinite Supermans. Well, it's been a thing in comics for a long time, like Crisis on Infinite Earths and stuff, where like you literally have infinite like Supermans. Some are good, some are bad, some are other things but
the Lords of Justice, I believe another story I got really into with Owlman, voiced by James Woods, but who cares?
Oh, that's Crisis on Multiple Earths or something. Like you have Owlman voiced by James Woods. It's so good, but it's so funny.
Yeah, because that guy is a huge piece of shit. Like he just goes on Twitter to like bully people endlessly, like so bad he got permanently banned, and then I think he just made a new account.
He's a Benevator.
Yeah, he's not a good person. That's all I gotta say. Great voice though. Great voice control.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like, there aren't a lot of characters that people really connect with in comics. Like, Batman is one, right? So when they make movies with Batman, it's really hard because people expect things. They expect stories they're familiar with or whatever. Like, all I care about is you keep the character true to their core, and you make an interesting story. I don't care about a comic book story. Like, comic book stories aren't necessarily the best stories. Like, I want a good story,
Yeah.
but I want the character to be true to who they are, like at their core, right? So
Yeah. Because like in my mind of it, like you're right. You know, if they make a story about Iron Man, we want someone who's going to fundamentally be Iron Man that we recognize from the comic books. Otherwise, why don't you just make a new character who's a rich playboy philanthropist who flies around in a mech suit? Like you can do these things. You can make your own new characters. But
I mean, that's essentially what they did with the Joker movie, which had nothing to do with the Joker at all. It's just a movie about a guy who kind of, it's like a psychological thriller, but like they use the name Joker in the kind of group that brings in to really sell a movie. Like, if you just made a movie called like Guy Goes Crazy or something, like nobody's gonna go see that movie, or right? But like because it's called the Joker, you're bringing in all these nerds and all these hardcore, dark and gritty Gotham stuff to come see a movie that has nothing to do with the Joker, which is fine. That doesn't make it a bad movie, but it's not a superhero DC Comics Joker movie. It's more character study to me.
Yeah, and also the most important thing is that the Joker is actually a good movie. Like, it has its issues, sure. Like, it has issues with how well you can trust the narration, which kind of sets the movie on some shaky legs, but it's still halfway decent. There's a story to tell. It tells you a story about a character that can compel you. I don't know how you can do that with that character and then not do that in Man of Steel. Like, it's just, hey.
Yeah.
Well, with that being said, I'm tired, so I want to go.
Yeah, I'm gonna go cook. But thanks Mookie for hanging out with us.
Yeah, dude. Thanks
for inviting me.
Yeah, no problem.
Anytime, honestly. Like,
yeah,
we're always, like Chair and I, we talk a lot. We have like different ideas and whatever, but like we always. I mean, I can't speak for him. Personally, I love hearing other people's experiences and their perspectives because, like, it's just foolish of me to assume I'm always right or my opinion's true or whatever. Like, I love to hear other people's experiences and their thoughts and opinions, and that's good for other people to hear too.
That is a rare thing to hear on the internet.
Yeah, well, almost like we hate the internet too.
We're on the internet because we this is something like we would do anyway, right? Like Chair and I would have conversations like this anyway, so like why not put it out there for someone else to hear? But like, the internet's kind of trash.
Yeah, we like to go into the comment sections of nerd websites, and we like to clown on the people in the comment sections that like take it way too seriously.
Yeah, but we would never comment like in those comment sections to them because
we would just clown on them.
Nonsense. We just make fun of them.
We gotta invite them on the podcast one of these days. That one guy who like comments on every.
Yeah, Captain Steve or something.
Something like that. Anyway, I gotta go. I gotta play some Dota 2. Gotta get my fix. Getting a little twitchy here. Need to go be bad at Dota 2. So.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, everyone. Much love. Have a good night.
Take us off the internet.
Bye bye.